That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I'm sorry I wanted to make this video previously, but I fell asleep during that Clippers game. We are on the East Coast right now, so it's almost impossible for me to stay up to those West Coast games. But anyway, we had so many games played on Christmas yesterday. In my opinion, not as entertaining as the usual Christmas slate, but still, nonetheless, we have a ton of takeaways and standout players that we need to discuss. If I miss anything, if I am incorrect about anything, please do not hold your tongue. Go down to the comment section, let everybody else in the flock know, correct me, let me know where I was wrong, or let me know where you disagree. That way we can all try to get better together. We can all try to increase our odds at our fantasy championships together. Okay, so let's start this video and let's talk about this player by player. And our first player that stands out is going to be Zion Williamson. Now, Zion here put up a typical game of Zion, in my opinion. I mean, 38 minutes, absolutely absurd. 32 points, great game, but this is why I was not drafting Zion Williamson in category leagues in the early rounds of 2020. He comes through, and despite having a very strong game in field goal efficiency as well as overall points scored, I mean, absolutely no threes. That is something that can change down the line. 66% from the free throw line. That's something that I don't know if we're going to be expecting to change. And then 0 blocks from just someone that you would really need blocks from if we are trying to win that category. 14 rebounds. In my opinion, that's not something that I think that we can expect him to average over the course of the season. That should easily regress. I want to remind everyone, this is basketball. We cannot be overreacting to any one game, as basketball is very volatile game to game, but there are so many games that it will all even out in a very large sample. So yeah, here Zion Williamson looked great. Looks like he's going to be getting heavy minutes in this rotation, but I stand by the fact that this Pelicans team is not going to be nearly as good for fantasy as they were this past season, with the new coach coming in, slowing down the pace of play, seeing less possessions per game. Really don't like the personnel changes they made also in the rotation. So here I'll say that with Zion, it was a great game, but still not going to be able to come out here and just win you your fantasy matchup outright. And now, staying on that Pelicans team, let's go over to Lonzo Ball, who had a very poor performance off of 33 total minutes. Every shot that he attempted was a 3-point shot. I mean, he went 2 from 8 for the field, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 points. Now, obviously, we don't care about him just chunking up the 3 over and over again if he is going to be a player that can knock it down at a decent rate. But Lonzo has struggled with the 3 throughout his entire NBA career now. I don't know if it's something that we are going to be expecting to change. And here, I think we just need a greater distribution of shots on the court. We need to see more assists from Lonzo as well if he is going to be a difference maker for our team. But like I said, I mean, I was avoiding the majority of these Pelicans players based on the fact that we knew this team was not going to have the same amount of possessions overall as they did in 2019. And our next player was also an avoid for us. Tyler Herro, really coming up short on Christmas. 32 minutes, 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Yeah, Tyler Herro, incredibly exciting. Some of the best play that we got in the bubble. And I think that he is going to be an impact player for years to come. But right now, I think it's just a little bit too early on in his NBA career to ask him to take that next step. I think that bubble life was just a small sample, something that we're not going to be able to project over for 2021. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all think I am personally wrong with Tyler Herro. I don't see it. I think at the very best, he's going to be a player that's getting us threes, getting us points, but not necessarily racking up a ton of assists and rebounds. Okay, so one of the better storylines on Christmas Day was actually James Wiseman coming in here and having a day. I mean, playing 25 minutes, 8 rebounds, scoring 18 points. I mean, he looked great on the court. What I really like to see is this heavy usage in the rotation for the first-year player. Obviously, a fantastic prospect coming into the NBA draft out of Memphis. Didn't really get to play that much at Memphis due to him leaving early. But we know coming out of high school, he was that #1 ranked overall recruit. He has the size, he has the athleticism. I think that he can continue to expand his role in this rotation. He can continue to see more boards and more points. Very exciting performance on Christmas. One of the few highlights for the Golden State Warriors. Now, our next storyline is it looks like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are just going to be taking over. I mean, yet again, they combined for 66 minutes, 63 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. And this is something that I maybe should have given more thought to. I mean, this Nets team looked good without both Kyrie and Kevin Durant on the court in 2019, 2020. But I was saying, you know what? It's probably because Kyrie Irving is not a good basketball player for his team. He's a fantastic basketball player if you look at his overall skills. I just don't like the way that he operates on the court. It looks like I was just wrong. I was ignorant as always. And obviously, Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the world. I've stood by that for so long now. So, I mean, adding two superstars like that to what was already a good roster and getting Mike D'Antoni in there. Can't say enough about Steve Nash just quite yet. We don't have the sample on him. I know we can go out there and project and look at what he did in the first two games, and it looks very exciting. But I think that we can confidently say that Mike D'Antoni is a good NBA coach. And here, really like what we are seeing from the Brooklyn Nets. Just going to be continuing to jam in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and expecting points. Okay, so now our next player to talk about is someone who had a great game on opening night as well. This is Jaylen Brown. With Jaylen Brown coming out 31 minutes, 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. I mean, looks like he is taking the next step. Only 24 years old, surprisingly. I mean, very impressive from Jaylen Brown on Christmas. Really excited to see what we have in future games. I was not drafting him a ton in 2020, to be completely honest. I did not know that he was going to be able to take that next step up, but maybe it's something I should have put more thought into. Okay, so now our next storyline is Chris Middleton was on fire in Christmas. I mean, he went 6 for 8 from 3, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, but 2 steals. And we know that's something that we come to expect from Chris Middleton. Great performance. Really happy to see it. I love the player. Love what he does for Milwaukee. And our next player in Milwaukee is Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, yes, had a good game because he's Giannis, and you most likely took him at the very beginning of your fantasy draft. But the one reason I was not taking him there, I was preferring players like Jokic, was due to the free throw percentage. I mean, it looks like he is still struggling with free throws. 7 for 15 from the line. Don't think that's going to be able to help you at all in that category, obviously. A great player is fantastic in so many other categories, but if you took Giannis in the first, I hope that you were going out there doubling down to players like LeBron, Ben Simmons, and just punting the free throw category. Now, our next player is going to be Nikola Jokic. Fantastic. I mean, this is why we've been drafting him in almost every single league. 38 minutes, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, and 24 points. I mean, yet again, another close to triple-double for Jokic after having one in his season opener. Why we loved him in fantasy drafts is the assist numbers, which we know is so hard to find in fantasy basketball. And then you're getting them at the center position, and you can double back and then pick up your point guard afterwards. I mean, fantastic player. Anybody who took them in their fantasy draft this season is going to be walking away with a massive smile on their face. Now, our next player is going to be Jamal Murray, another guy like Tyler Herro, another guy that played so well in the bubble. He looked like he elevated to that superstar tier. I was a little bit hesitant. I did not know if that was going to carry over. And also, I did not know if we were going to be expecting him to have the assist and rebound numbers. I looked at him more as a scorer first, and really points scored is not something that I'm chasing in fantasy basketball in our category leagues. He's coming away with 37 minutes, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 23 points. Obviously not a bad outing, but just not that elite production that you would have expected from the bubble. Okay, so our next player that we're going to talk about is actually a few teammates. This is going to be LeBron and Anthony Davis. Looks like this Los Angeles Lakers team is starting right where they left off from this past season. 61 minutes, 50 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists combined for the two teammates. I mean, great performance, really fun game to watch. Wishing the best for LeBron and Anthony Davis, hoping they go back-to-back. But anyway, our last lesson learned is Luka. Looks like he is not going to be taking that next step as early as we thought he would. I'll tell you right now, we're going to be making a buy low video, and Luka should be on there. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Not a bad outing, but just something that we had come to expect more from. Luka, I wanted to see more rebounds. I wanted to see more assists. This is a player that I thought could average a triple-double this season. Like I said, guys, we're not going to be overreacting to the first 3 days of the fantasy basketball season, so still entirely in the range of outcomes. But I want to just bring this up real quick and say, don't panic on Luka. I mean, just give him some time, guys. I think that we are seeing a very similar thing that we saw with Jokic this past season, where he's just having to play himself into shape. So yeah, Luka, don't give up. Probably a buy low candidate for us. But that's it. Thank y'all so much for checking out the video. Really hope that y'all enjoyed it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps us out. And yeah, that's it. I will see y'all with the video hopefully tomorrow.